It is that time, everybody. Hey, time to sit back, relax, grab you a Pepsi or whatever it is you're drinking, and let's talk some college football. Golden Blue Dude is going live, so that's what that means. It's time to start talking college football. You know, I talk college football the entire year. There is no off season for Golden Blue Dude, but man, whenever the season actually gets here, things really start heating up. I really, really love these live shows during the regular season because here's the thing. The college football fan bases are the most passionate fan bases on planet Earth. Bottom line. That is the bottom line. We are the most passionate fans that are out there. So whenever the season starts kicking in and our team either wins or loses, we lose it. I mean, that's just the bottom line. We lose it because that's how invested we are in in our sport, in college football. And I love it. I love it, especially the regular season. All right, guys. Time to join the like gang. There's all kind of gangs out there, like the join, just different. I'm gonna call y'all the like gang. Please hit the like button. It helps this video tremendously. Even if you don't like me or you don't even like the video, it just helps the video. It actually gives you more people to talk smack to. I don't know if people realize that. By hitting the like button, you're literally helping the video hit the YouTube algorithm. It gets suggested, more and more people see it, and more people click on it, and that's how you grow your audience. So by you hitting the like button, you're literally enlarging the audience to which you, the viewer, can talk smack to in the comments. So you're helping me, and you're also helping yourself. So it's a good idea to hit that like button. Also, if you have a specific question for me or a comment, or you want to make fun of me, hey, best way to do that is the super chat option. That is that little $ button you see on the bottom right-hand corner underneath the comments section. Anything that you put in that super chat will be plastered on the screen, and I'll read it, I'll thank you, and we'll address whether it's a question. I'll try to answer it to the best of my ability. A comment, I'll address that too. And if you're making fun of me, I will definitely address that as well. I don't know what happened to my banner. Hold on, guys. There we go. Don't forget the P.O. box. I'm accepting, I'll call it donations. I'm accepting donations, but not money through the P.O. box. It's gear to represent your team. Here's an example. Well, I've already gotten stuff on my back wall. See that West Virginia flag? That's actually a wood carving, I guess is what you would call it. Somebody sent me that. There's a clip of RG3 winning the Heisman back in the day. That was sent. And just the other day, no, I'm not a Notre Dame fan, but I had a Notre Dame subscriber send me a Notre Dame pennant. This will go on my back wall sometime this week. Maybe tomorrow, maybe Friday. We'll see. But it is going on my back wall. So if you want to represent your team, and every time you watch a Golden Blue Dude regular video or a live show, and I have that in my background, you'll be a part of the show, even if you're not here. But especially when you're here, you'll be able to see it and know, hey, I sent that to Golden Blue Dude, and it is a part of his background permanently. I love it. I know I'm getting an LSU mini helmet from Shane M 1980. Haven't got it yet. I'm looking forward to that very, very much. So the first mini helmet that Golden Blue Dude will receive from one of his subscribers will be LSU. I'm not going to lie, guys. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. Okay, so yes, that would be my favorite piece of gear from you to represent your team, the mini helmets, because we have a master plan as far as shelving goes, as far as how we're going to display those mini helmets behind me in the background. I'll buy them if I need to. That's fine, no problem. But I think it's a nice personal touch if you send it. That way you're representing your team and yourself, your fan base, your team, yourself. And I just think it's a great way to connect with your audience. I'm very much excited about the LSU mini helmet. Anybody else you want to send me a jersey, a shirt, a hat, a cup, mini helmet? Yes. Send it to the P.O. box, And it is P.O. Box 360, Liberty, South Carolina 29657. There you go, guys. See what I tell y'all, hitting the like button and the audience is already growing. That is what I'm talking about. I can always rely on you. And those of you that are new in the chat, please hit the like button. Help us to keep growing this audience. All right, we've got several things to talk about this evening. The first, and let's see, I've made a video about two of the things that I'm talking about, and the third thing I will make a video on. The first thing is Brett Yormark, the commissioner of the Big 12, talking about the Big 12 expanding west. And whenever I made today's video, a lot of people were like, why are you getting on to Brett Yormark for doing that? What are you talking about? I didn't get on to him. Why are you complaining about going west? What are you talking about? I didn't complain about that. It is the right thing and the best decision for the Big 12 to expand west and grab the four corner schools. I'm talking about Utah, Colorado, Arizona, and Arizona State. That is the right decision for the Big 12. I'm not saying that it's the wrong decision. Not at all. It's exactly what they need to do. The point of the video that I was trying to make today was he emphasized west, 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 and said nothing about east. And I understand until the ACC figures out that grant of rights, it's probably not going to happen. I mean, you could grab a Memphis. Honestly, I do think Memphis would be a great addition to the Big 12, but you don't want to add too many group of five teams and, make it mostly group of five teams. You don't want to do that. So the best choice would be to get teams out of the ACC. So the point that I was trying to make was he didn't give any type of hope for the East teams as far as expanding East. I wasn't expecting him to say, yeah, we are headed towards the ACC. We're going to grab some teams. No, just a little hint, a little bit of hope that the teams in the East aren't out on an island, because you have the core, which is basically the Southwest, Midwest, and Mountain West now, and that's great. The Big 12 has been traditionally a Southwest/Midwest conference. It's great. But now West Virginia is a part of the Big 12. Cincinnati will be, and UCF will be. So some more East teams need to be added to make it a little more even. That's all I was saying. That was the whole point of that entire video. So don't take that as I was getting mad that the Big 12 was expanding west. No, I wasn't complaining about it. I was just saying, I just wish there was some type of hope that the Big 12 could expand east as well. That's all I was saying. But it looks like, number one, Brett Yormark didn't say anything about it, not even a little bit. It was all about the West. I get it. That's fine. Number two, the grant of rights. Those have got to get figured out. Otherwise, I don't see the Big 12 expanding east other than getting Memphis. I do think getting Memphis would be worth, going after. I do think that. So all you Memphis fans out there, cross your fingers. Hopefully the Big 12 will come after you and pick you up. Let's give credit where credit is due. Memphis has been better with their football program recently. Not, elite, not the greatest, but they've been very, very competitive. They've been one of the best teams in the AAC recently. Not the best, but one of the best. And they're about to sink $200 million into their football stadium. And if you haven't seen pictures, you need to see pictures. It looks great. It looks state-of-the-art. It looks flashy. Everything you need to grab the attention of a major conference. Vanity Rose, thank you for the $5 donation, says, if Yormark gets caught on the West Coast, he's going to get gorilla pressed and splashed the way the Ultimate Warrior did to the Honky Tonk Man. Yes, and I'm actually old enough to remember that. That was actually a great wrestling match, by the way. Yes, I am a wrestling fan. Fun fact there. I've been watching wrestling since I was like, 5. And I know it's not real. I know that. Let me explain this real quick before we move on, okay? So a lot of people are like, why do you like wrestling? You know it's fake, right? Yeah. Why do you watch movies? You know it's fake, right? You know what you're watching in a movie is not actually happening, right? You know it's done with stunts and fake blood and fake this and fake that, right? Yeah, that's the way wrestling is. It's like a movie except with a little bit more action. So if you watch it with the right perspective, it's actually enjoyable. Anyways, I digress. But I agree with that. You know, I think we can all agree that the Pac-12's days are numbered. Yes, I think we can all agree that the Pac-12 days are numbered. So the Big Ten grabs USC and UCLA, right? That was the biggest moneymakers, the biggest brands from the Pac-12. That was a gut punch right there. And we know that Washington and Oregon want to leave the Pac-12 at all costs. They want to join the Big 12, even if it means an uneven revenue share, which there is precedent to that. I don't know if y'all know this, but there for a while, even Nebraska, Maryland, and Rutgers were receiving unequal revenue shares whenever they joined. They just recently got full share. So that's probably going to happen no matter what. Now with USC and UCLA, their brands are so big, they don't have to worry about that. So Oregon and Washington, I expect them to join the Big Ten with an unequal revenue share. So you're going to be looking at the rest of the Big Ten getting up to their max potential of $100 million per year, right? So Oregon and Washington, this is just a guess. I don't know this for sure. I would guess that Oregon and Washington would receive $70 million. Okay, so that's $30 million less than everybody else. Man, that's a big gap. Why would they do that? Well, it's because they're still making way more money than what they would in the Pac-12. They're asking for a 16.5% cut of this new TV deal, and that still puts them at only 14, I think it's 44.5 million. So you're looking at almost 30 million more, even with an uneven revenue share. And you're guaranteed safe. You're guaranteed if you can win the conference, you're going to get into the playoffs. There's a lot of guarantees. So, yeah, I 100% agree with Oregon and Washington wanting to join the Big Ten, even though they're going to get an uneven revenue share, because it's still going to be more than what they would be making in the Pac-12. And even in the Pac-12, they would be making an unequal revenue share, except they would be getting the better unequal revenue share. But compare that to the lower, much, much better. So Oregon and Washington, I expect them to go to the Big Ten at some point. Of course, we know that the Big 12 is extremely interested in Utah, Colorado, Arizona, and Arizona State. Honestly, it would be extremely foolish for those four teams to not accept that. I'm not saying that the Pac-12 is going to be done as a conference, but they're going to be done as a power conference, as an I'm not even going to try to say that word. Let me think. Anonymity. There we go. Anonymity 5 conference. That's a tough word for me personally to say. That's why we call it Power 5 conference, because that word is tough to pronounce. But they're not going to be a Power 5 conference for very long. So even if they reload and get, say, like a San Diego State, a Boise State, a Colorado State, a Fresno State, maybe a Utah State, the list goes on from the Mountain West. There's a big list of choices for the Pac-12 to reload, but they're not going to be making Power 5 money. And those teams in the Mountain West will be more than happy to join the Pac-12, because the Mountain West, they don't make hardly anything. I think the last time I saw it was like, I think it was like 11 or 12 million a year, something like that. Might not even be that much. So, for them to get a pay bump to like 20, 25 million, they're fine with that. But the other teams that are used to making at least 40 to 50 million, that's not good money at all. So teams will be bailing. I think Oregon State and Washington State, you guys, I think you're screwed. Sorry. I'm not trying to talk down on you, or I'm not even talking trash. I'm not trying to be mean either. But I don't think that, the Big Ten's not going to take you. And I don't think that the Big 12 would take you either. I don't think they want to stretch that far west, unless you would be like a USC or UCLA. So I think Oregon State and Washington State are going to be Pac-12 lifers. Now, Stanford, that's a different story. I think Stanford could go independent and they would be fine. Cal, I don't know. I don't know about Cal. I've heard a lot of people say that the Big Ten really likes Cal's resources. The Big Ten likes Cal's research money, likes their academics, all that stuff, because one thing that most people don't realize, and that I didn't even realize until a couple months ago, is that whenever you join the Big Ten, you're sharing your resources with everybody. Everybody shares everything with everybody. It's almost like a commonwealth. And so you bring in Cal. No, they don't necessarily bring you a lot of money in football, but Cal has a lot of academic resources, a lot of research resources. That could draw the Big Ten to stretch out a hand and say, hey, come on, join us. So Cal's a question mark. I don't know about Cal. Same thing with Stanford. They have the academics and all that stuff as Cal, but I think Stanford would be fine independent. Cal, I don't think they would be fine independent. So Cal would be either stay in the Pac-12 or join the Big Ten if the Big Ten wanted them. Stanford would be stay in the Pac-12, join the Big Ten if they wanted them. Or third option, independent. So if the Big Ten doesn't want Stanford, I think Stanford could make more money going independent. That's my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. So let's break this down real quick, then we'll move on, okay? So USC and UCLA, they're off to the Big Ten. Oregon and Washington, they will be off to the Big Ten soon. Colorado, Utah, Arizona, and Arizona State, they're going to go to the Big 12, right? Oregon State and Washington State, they're going to be stacking the Pac-12. They're going to be lifers, okay? So the last two, Stanford, if the Big Ten wants them, Stanford and Cal, they'll go there. If not, Cal will be a Pac-12 lifer, but Stanford could go independent. So there's the breakdown of the future of current Pac-12 members. P Digits, thank you for the $4.99 donation, says Big 13, already going to 13, okay, has no choice but to go west going to Bluetooth. I agree with that. And grab Pac-12 teams. Agree with that too. If available, Big 12 would rather grab Wake Forest than Arizona State. That's a little bit of a stretch, but I see where you're going there. And that's why I said earlier, I don't fault the Big 12 for going west and grabbing the four corners. That is the right decision for the Big 12, okay? I'm not mad at them. I don't fault them for that. I just wanted a little bit of hope. Maybe he could have said something like, but we're also thinking about the East. We're trying to figure out ways to get teams from the East, just to give us some hope. That was the message that I was trying to get across with the video that I made earlier. Just give us a little bit of hope. Like, we're exploring options on the East side of the conference. Maybe in the future we'll look on the East side. Just anything to give us hope. Something like that. I know they can't get anybody right now. That was the gist of the video I made today. So, yeah, I totally agree. The Big 12 definitely needs to go after those Pac-12 teams. And like I said earlier, it would be totally foolish for those Pac-12 teams to not take the offer, because even if they're holding on to the hope that the Pac-12 survives, they're not going to make enough money to offset going to the Big 12. You're going, even if it's just by $5 or $10 million, that's $5 or $10 million. You will make money going to the Big 12. I think it'll be more than $5 or $10 million. I think it'll be closer to $20 million, which raises the argument. But you get my point. It's, that's definitely worth it. And I think, just the Big 12 being more stable over the Pac-12. And think about this. A year and, 2 months ago, we were talking about how, oh, man, what's the Big 12 going to do? Oklahoma and Texas, they're gone. Well, even back up a decade, whenever Texas A&M and Missouri were taken, and Nebraska and Colorado, 4 teams, and they took in West Virginia and TCU, but that's still a loss to 2. Fast forward it to last year, the SEC snipes Texas and Oklahoma. Oh, here we go again. But this time the Big 12 is dead. And I admit it, I was one of those people that said this is over. This is the kill shot. This is something that they cannot survive. And they go out and get BYU, UCF, Cincinnati, and Houston, 4 great brands. Yes, group of 5, but those are literally the best group of 5 brands that they could have possibly gotten. So the Big 12 has survived even though they've been gutted twice. So here we are a year and 2 months after a second gut shot, talking about how the Big 12 is in a better position than the Pac-12. The three conferences that have to worry, and we all know, is the Pac-12, Big 12, and ACC. They have got to stop being reactive. They have got to be proactive. And I know a lot of people say, I don't know if that's possible. Maybe they didn't see it coming. How do you defend something that you don't see coming? I understand that, but you see the changing landscape. You need to be making phone calls right now if you're any of those three conferences. Boom to the Sooner. Thank you for the $5 donation. If the ACC stays at it is it better, or is the new Big 12 better? That is a great question right there. That is a really good question, actually. All right, so the ACC stays as is. So that means nobody leaves. I would still have to go with the ACC because here's why. You still have brands like Clemson, Florida State, North Carolina, Virginia, Virginia Tech, Miami. But it's not by a lot, in my opinion. Some people might disagree with me on that, and that's fine. I understand. But I would think if the ACC stays as is and loses nobody, then they're a smidge better than the new Big 12. Don't get me wrong, the new Big 12 looks great. I love the new look. I think BYU was actually the biggest pickup. They didn't make the biggest buzz. Honestly, I think Cincinnati and UCF made the biggest buzz, but I think that's a little bit of a shame because I think BYU is the biggest grab for the Big 12. I know BYU tried to get in the Pac-12 several times. Pac-12 said, no, you're religious. We're too good for you. Move on. Hindsight being 2020, that could have actually saved the Pac-12. I mean, okay, let's say that they could have not prevented USC and UCLA leaving. It was going to happen no matter what. Just by switching BYU from the Big 12 to the Pac-12, we're talking about a whole different ballgame here. Because BYU has a massive fan base. They bring in a significant amount of revenue. They're not in Oklahoma or Texas, anybody like that, but an upper mid-tier as far as revenue producer. So you're hurting the Big 12 because they would not have BYU, and you're helping the Pac-12 a lot by placing them in. So if they would have accepted BYU, this conversation would be turned on its head. Seriously. I think we would be talking about the Pac-12 getting teams from the Big 12. I think we would be talking about the Pac-12 grabbing Texas Tech for sure, maybe the Kansas schools, Kansas and Kansas State, Oklahoma State for sure, maybe Baylor, TCU. Well, I know the religious argument, but if they have BYU, then the religious argument is out the window. So, yes, it would open the door for TCU and Baylor. Iowa State, I don't know. It's a little stretch, and I'm not sure about the revenue. But think about it. It would have changed this argument completely. It would have changed this conversation absolutely in the opposite direction. So I really hope the Pac-12 feels bad for not allowing BYU because they should. It is costing them dearly right now. That was oh man. It was just not a good decision at all, guys. It just, I still don't understand. I understand it because of the reasons, but I don't understand it because the reasons are flimsy. Put it to you that way. That's the best way I'm going to explain it. Don't forget, we still have our score prediction contest over on the Patreon page. Daniel Brazen was the winner of week 1. So he will receive his $20 reward on the 23rd, unless he wins another time. How much ever he wins between now and the 23rd, he will get it in one lump. This week's game is going to be number 24 Tennessee at number 17 Pitt. So the Patreon that comes the closest to that score wins $20 for this week. Last week it was Daniel Brazen. He was only 3 points off, and second place was 4 points off. So he won it by 1 point. These competitions are really close. And whenever I get to let's see. What did I say? Whenever I get to 40 Patreons, I'm actually going to bump the prize up from $20 a week to $50 a week. So I messed that one up. Dadgummit. Tell a friend to join Golden Blue Dude Patreon, because if we get to 40, I bump up the prize from $20 a week to $50 a week. And you can join Patreon for as little as $2 a month. So you're paying $2 a month for a chance to win $20 4 times a month, sometimes 5, because you can win as many times as you want. All right, enough self-promotion. On to the next topic at hand. And that's going to be, hold on, let me bring it up, guys. Patience is a virtue. I promise it is. We're going to talk about and the whole reason, dadgummit, the whole reason why I brought up the Patreon page and the score prediction contest is now it's time to start talking about some games. Week 1 is in the books. It is in the past. So now it's time to start talking about week 2. There's some good matchups. I'm not going to lie. This even week 0 had some decent matchups and some drama. We remember Northwestern upsetting Nebraska. Now Scott Frost is basically on the way out unless he can go on like a 5-game winning streak before his buyout goes significantly lower. If he loses one more game, he is going to be fired after October 1st. Book it. One more game, he's done after October 1st. That is whenever the buyout falls. All right, the first game we're going to talk about. Number 1, Alabama at unranked Texas. Alabama is a 20-point favorite. Is there any hope for Texas to do the unthinkable? Is there any hope for the Longhorns to upset the Alabama Crimson Tide? There's always a chance, right? There's always a chance. I just don't see it because Alabama, they didn't just look good on offense. They didn't just look good on defense. They looked good all the way around. And I know in my new top 25 poll, I flipped Alabama and Georgia. It's because I think Georgia looked a little bit better against an almost top 10 ranked Oregon. Now, Oregon could be just that bad, but all I can go on is by what I saw. That was the largest win over a ranked opponent by Georgia. So I awarded Georgia and put them at my number 1 spot and Alabama at my 2 spot. Now, in my poll, Alabama could retake that number 1 spot if they go on the road and absolutely obliterate Texas. Now, Texas, their last game, they had UL Monroe. They did beat them handily, 52-10. Didn't see any glaring issues. I wasn't able to watch the game full, but I saw glimpses of the game. I didn't see any issues. But Alabama, I didn't see any flaws whatsoever. None. There's nothing that I saw I could complain about. And I know Quinn Ewers threw an interception for Texas, so there's that. So I think the storyline for this game is going to be, can Quinn Ewers, not throw any interceptions? And the answer to that is going to be no. Not because he's a bad quarterback. He's a good quarterback, but Alabama's defense is just that good. I mean, Alabama's defense compared to UL Monroe, hello, and UL Monroe picked him off. Yeah, I predict that Quinn Ewers throws at least 3 interceptions in this game, okay? And I think Alabama will sack him at minimum 5 times. So 5 sacks for Alabama on Quinn Ewers and 3 interceptions minimum for Quinn Ewers for Texas. So I have Texas rolling. Nope. Switch that. I have Alabama rolling. Can't believe I said that. I have Alabama rolling over Texas, and I'm going to say it's going to be to the tune of, I'm going to say 42-10. So, yes, they cover as well. They more than cover. 42-10. I wish I had better news for you, Texas fans, but I do think you will be better this year. Okay, so don't be mad at me or be mad at me. That's your choice. I'm just calling it the way I see it. I don't think anybody's given Texas a chance. Texas is they're pretty hyped about this game. I'm not sure if game day is going to be there or not. They probably will because it's Alabama, and of course Texas is a big brand, and they're on their way to the SEC. So that would be a good way for them to promote a future SEC member. I just don't think Texas has a shot to beat Alabama, but anything can happen. And I do think Texas is a better team than what they were last year, and I do think they will have a better record than what they did last year. I think Texas is a solid 8-4 team, getting to a bowl, not losing to Kansas. Not this year. It's not going to happen. So it's definitely a step forward in the right direction before you head to the SEC. But I still think it's a blowout. Sorry, Longhorn fans. I wish I had better news. But I did have the good news of 8-4, so that's better than last year, right? Next is Arkansas State at Ohio State, blowout. Not even going to talk about it. Southern Miss at number 15, Miami, blowout. Not even going to talk about it. South Carolina at number 16, Arkansas. Does anybody give South Carolina a chance to go on the road and beat Razorbacks? I will say this. After what I saw from Arkansas on Saturday, I give them a little bit of a chance. If this was in Columbia, I would actually have South Carolina winning. But it is on the road. It is in the SEC. It is a ranked opponent. But KJ Jefferson didn't look 100%. I don't know if he was injured. I don't know if it was cramps. I don't know. But he was off his targets. And if he does that against South Carolina, they could very well lose. But I think Arkansas handles South Carolina with relative ease. I think Arkansas beats South Carolina by 2 touchdowns. I'm going to say, no, not 2 touchdowns, 10 points. I think Arkansas beats South Carolina by 10 points. I'm going to say, let's see, I'm going to go 31-21. I still don't think that Arkansas is going to score a ton of points because KJ Jefferson, I just didn't like the way he was throwing the ball against Cincinnati. I thought Arkansas was going to beat Cincinnati by 20-plus points. I mean, Cincinnati lost a crap ton from last year's team, and Arkansas just kept making mistakes. I'm like, man, they're hanging in there. They could turn this around, and, I mean, they were within 1 score. So, yeah, they could have definitely won that game. So I'm not as confident as far as Arkansas beating South Carolina, but I'm pretty sure they will. And my final score prediction is going to be South Carolina 21, Arkansas 31. You know what I forgot to do? Hold on, guys. Give me 1 second. I forgot to put in the code for the StreamYard because this is a call-in show tonight. So give me 1 second. Make sure I got all the keys correct here. Okay, I got it. All right, let me double check here. Yes, that's good. Let's see if okay. I think that's good. If it doesn't work, y'all let me know. All right, so there is the StreamYard. If you want to join the show, you can turn your camera off if you want to, but make sure you have your camera on when you join. That way, I know it's not, an imposter. Even you, Joey, I see your name, but you never know. Somebody could slide. There you go. I got you. Joey's being a trooper tonight, by the way, guys. He's been sicker than a dog.
I am.
Are you gonna have to
still sick?
Are you gonna have to pause? Are you gonna have to pause and throw up every once in a while?
Yeah. Well, I hope not. I want to just come in for a second because I need to have these drawings real quick.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you about that since you were feeling that. Go ahead.
Yeah. So in the month of August, we had 273 super chats. So I want to thank everybody for that because that's amazing.
Nice.
273 super chats in a month. So what I need somebody to do, I'm going to pick somebody out of here, and I'm going to have you pick me a number between 1 and 273. I have them all written down.
Randomly listed. Yes.
And so I'm gonna pick somebody out. Let's see if I can find somebody that I mean, that's kind of in here a lot, but not in here a whole lot to where
Baylor
we.
Bear 03. Baylor Bear 03.
Okay, that's good. Baylor Bear 3. Would you give me a number between 1 and 273, please?
No pressure. You're just picking a winner of a trail
Nope.
cam, right?
That's right. Winner of a trail cam.
Let me put
Oh,
the.
yeah.
Hold on. Let me. Hopefully, I can find this in time, guys.
I could
I
let
meant to
Nightbot
do
do
this
this,
up.
but
Hold on.
I could let
I'm finding it.
Nightbot do this, but Nightbot can be rigged, guys. So I don't want to do
Yeah,
that.
so we don't want people to think that. So this was a random.
I almost got into quite a few fights with
All right.
Nightbot.
Baylor Bear has selected 173. All right, so let me go through who that is.
173. We do have a winner. Who is it?
It is Cowboy
I'm trying to
Country,
find it.
Oklahoma State fan.
Cowboy. Is he the one that changed his name to
I'm
Orange
gonna have to turn my
and?
background off. Let me turn my
Is
background
he the one that
off.
changed his name to Orange and Black dude there for a while, or Black and Orange dude?
I don't know. So
I think so.
173.
Dadgummit, I can't find that picture.
Can everybody see that? 173. Cowboy Country.
There you
Oklahoma
go.
State fan.
Nice. Dadgummit, I
So-
can't find the picture of that trail cam, Joey. You might have to find it and put it on the screen.
Okay.
So we'll-
Also, I need a number between 1 and 4. We didn't have very many sales in the store this month, but that's
it
okay.
happens.
We're going to give away the.
I'm going to pick this one, okay?
We're going to give away the. Yeah, but a number between 1
3.
and 4.
I'm going with 3. Oh, everybody
Oh,
chose
that's the wrong
3.
place.
Yes.
Okay, let me
we're
go in
all,
here.
We're all on the same wavelength.
Everybody chose 3.
Well, except for John Paul.
All right.
I was hoping you would pick 4. That's how many college game days you've lost.
You know what? This is a great winner. This is a great winner because it's a great guy, Scott Neal.
Scott. Oh,
Scott
he
Neal.
was the
That's
guy
one-
that I
one-
hung out with on. Oh, he'll be
Yeah.
excited. Oh man, he'll be excited.
Yeah, he
was the
will.
guy that
He
I
will.
hung
As a matter
out
of fact,
on Saturday.
As a matter of fact,
Nice.
I talked to him just today because he had a coffee mug that he had ordered, and it was chipped, and I had to send him another one. And I talked to him today to make sure he got it and everything worked out. So, yeah. Anyway,
Nice.
Scott has won the night vision binoculars. So, congratulations to
Nice.
Scott Neal.
He'll be excited about that.
He will. He will. So, but thanks everybody for participating. A special thank you to Traveling Fools for donating those 2 items to us to give away. Really excited about that. And a special thank you to Talker's Pit for being here because I want him to know that I went to Pittsburgh and got COVID. Thank you, Talker's Pit.
Oh, you're welcome. You're quite welcome. You know, that's what we do to West Virginia
I
fans.
didn't. I'm good so
Yeah.
far. It could be in what's it called? I could be in incubation. You never know.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of glad I didn't
look-
come to your hotel room.
Yeah,
Do what?
yeah.
I was going to come to his hotel room where you guys were staying at in Pittsburgh, but now that he had COVID, I'm kind of glad I didn't.
Oh yeah. Probably so.
Yeah, really.
So,
Yeah,
so the game that I have for the score prediction contest for my patrons is number 24 Tennessee at number 17 Tennessee. Now, remember, people, this is strictly for entertainment purposes. So, if you use any of our picks and you're wrong, don't blame it on us. Don't use this as ironclad facts. This is strictly entertainment, okay? But if you were participating in this score prediction contest, what would your score be?
You
Mine?
said Pitt and Texas.
Well, I know you would have Pitt. But
Me? No, I have Pitt losing this game.
okay. What you got for the score?
Well, there's a couple of things I have to point out. Even Joey agreed with me on this. 1, Tennessee played nobody. And 2, even though they played nobody, their defense was still able to get shredded for 270 yards passing in the first half against their first string defense.
It's true.
In 3, Tennessee was not able to generate 1 sack on Ball State. Not one.
Oof, that's not good.
Ball State was able to sack Hooker 3 times.
Ooh, man. And you're still going
So,
with Tennessee?
I'm still going with Tennessee, but by 3. I'm picking 31-28.
The only way that makes sense, well, the only way that makes sense to me with the rationale you just explained is maybe Pitt has a hangover from the emotional win over West Virginia.
So wait, are you picking Pitt to win this game?
Hold on. I'm not there yet. What I'm saying is the only way that what you just said would make sense to me would be if you were saying you thought Pitt was going to have an emotional letdown by West Virginia, because you just explained to me that Tennessee got shredded for 200 plus yards in passing in the first half, right? Sacked Hendon Hooker 3 times. The defense didn't sack their quarterback at all. So going by what you said in your analysis from the Tennessee game, my thoughts are, well, the only reason he's picking Pitt to lose then would be because he thinks Pitt is having an emotional letdown over, the win over West Virginia.
I do think there is going to be a little bit of a hangover.
Okay.
I do. And that's the main reason why I'm picking Pitt to win. That was the first reason why. Now, I didn't make that analysis about Tennessee until after I saw the game. I don't think Tennessee is as good as everyone's putting them out to be. I don't even think, to be honest, I don't even think they deserve to be ranked. That's ridiculous.
I now have Pitt ranked because of that win. I mean, it was a rivalry game. I think West Virginia is still good. We just made a crap ton of mistakes, and you guys capitalized.
Yeah.
I mean, I think y'all deserve it. I'm just being honest.
Honestly,
well, if you had
made a crap ton of mistakes.
Oh yeah, true. We just made less.
Yeah, basically. I mean, seriously, Bryce Ford Wheaton was having an amazing game, and the one pass that he missed terribly turns into a pick 6. I mean, that's the kind of night we were having. Not 4th and 1, not 4th and 1.5, not even 4th and half a yard. I've seen straight down the line from sideline to sideline shot of that 4th down. We were like 5.5 inches away from the first down. We should have gone for it. Number one, even if we don't get it, we're still in the lead, and you still have to drive at least half the field. I know Neil Brown was going by percentages, but we were averaging, we averaged close to 6 yards a rush. I have no doubt in my mind that we would have made that first down. And if we run some clock and gain another 15 yards and get a field goal, I mean, it's not game over, but it's almost game over. From the other side, how do you feel about well, I know you're happy about it, but if the shoe was on the other foot, what would you have expected from that?
I would have went for it. I don't care what Pat Narduzzi says, or even Neil Brown, of that matter, says, because Pat Narduzzi said the same thing. It depends. He said he probably would have went for it, but then again, there's times where he hasn't gone for it when he should have. And he's even admitted that. I would have went for it no matter what happened. I mean, because you guys didn't even need to run Donaldson up the middle. You would have just snuck JT Daniels right there.
Well,
boom, game tied.
Well, JT wasn't comfortable with that after the goal line sneak, so we would have brought in Garrett Green. And Joey, whenever I brought that up to Joey, he said, "Well, they would have known what was about to happen." I was like, "And 6 inches."
I still think you guys should have went for it. That was what cost you the game, not the interception.
Well, I kind of agree. At the time, I was sitting there going, "No, I think I punt this ball." I mean, I really was. I had the same mindset as Neil Brown sitting there going, punt the ball. And then when he went out there, when he set the offense out on the field, I was like, "Oh crap, he's going to go for it." And of course, he was just trying to draw them off size and stuff and things. But I just felt like that it was the time to punt. I just didn't feel like it going for it was right because if you miss that and you don't get that one, that 6 inches, and there's always that possibility, man, they get momentum because they stopped you. They're on the 40-yard line. They got a short field. I mean, there was just too much variables there. I'd say punt that ball, and that was my
We
thought
ended up
process.
scoring anyway, though.
Right,
I mean,
right. You
I
ended up
see what
scoring
Joey's
anyway.
saying. I see what you're saying, Joey, and that's why I said earlier, if this would have been fourth and a full yard or a yard and a half, I would agree with you. But 6 inches, man, that I mean, think about it. If you can't get 6 inches on one play, you have no business playing football. That's just my opinion.
But how
If
many
you
times
can't
did
get
we
six
have a
inches,
negative play? Just curious, how many negative plays did we have in that game? How many negative plays did Pitt have? I mean, it was a
I'm not
lot.
sure, but I don't think they would have ran like a sweep or anything like that
Right,
to
right. I know.
risk something. I think we would have gotten up, up under center. I think, at least one running back, possibly, a double wing, get behind him and push. And you
I
just
think he had us
outnumbered
in a
them. You just
no-win
outnumbered
situation.
them at that point.
I really believe Neil Brown was in a no-win situation there. If he punts it, everybody's going to say, "Well, you should have went for it." If he went for it and didn't make it, everybody would have said you should have punted it. It was the worst call they ever seen. You shouldn't have went
Yeah,
for that.
yeah, true. Yeah, I
Disagree.
didn't think
You
of
know
The
how
that.
it
only
is.
reason I disagree, with that is because what I said earlier, when it comes to 6 inches, if we couldn't got it, then we had no business being there anyways. I mean, that's a guts call. And that's why I made the video afterwards saying legend status denied. Because here's the thing. You only get so many chances to be a legend in this sport. That was a chance right there. And
Yeah.
he turned it down. And it came back to bite him. Now, watching his press conference afterwards, he fully believes that was the right decision. So, kudos to him sticking with it. But to me, when it's 4th and 6 inches and you're playing against your rival, and if you get that first down, you can bleed a crap ton of clock and possibly put the game away. I think it's a no-brainer. I think you don't even think about it. You go for it. And I understand that Neil Brown is an analysis type of guy, but there's certain situations where you got to put that out and you got to play from the gut. That was one of those plays where he should have played in the moment and not by his analysis. Because by analysis, you're correct, Joey. He shouldn't have gone for it. By analysis, by the percentage, nope, don't go for it. But in that moment, analysis and percentages have to go out the window. In the moment, let's really put this game on ice.
Now, I wanted to address something Salt of the Earth said in the comments. He asked me if I still thought Pitt at a junior high for a offense with junior high. If I said that, I was just talking trash about them being a junior high team. But I will say this: we did sack him 5 times, and we did hurry him 7 times, and did hold Pitt to under 80 yards of rushing total for the whole game. So, you can't say that you have an elite offense there. Either you have a good offense and we have an elite defense, or you just don't have a good offense at all. And
Right.
I think you've
Are
got
you
a good
sure?
offense and you just went up against
Are you sure it was only 80?
You had less than 80 total yards rushing that game.
Are you sure? Because Rodney Hammond got 74 yards rushing, and I know Izzy got at least 30. And then Keaton Slovis rushed for 29 yards,
I might
too.
be wrong. Let me look that up, make sure.
I mean, I could be wrong, too, but I swore.
And I thought they said Pitt averaged like 2 point something yards.
Yeah, we average only like 2 or 3 yards per passing play. But as far as run play goes, when it came to Rodney Hammond, we were averaging 5 or 6 yards a carry.
You sure about that? 16 carries for 74 yards. The math don't add up on that one.
Well, he wasn't the starting running back, GBD.
But I'm saying it shows he had 16 carries for 74 yards.
Yeah, but he wasn't. Now, if you're talking about one running back not getting 80 yards, then yeah. But as a whole, we had more than that.
Gotcha. But I I must have misunderstood you. I
looking to
thought you
see.
said that Hammond averaged, 4
Oh
touchdowns.
no! I
Okay.
was just bringing up the fact that honestly, when Hammond was in a game, you guys had no answer
Gotcha. Understand.
until he got hit with that targeting thing.
Yeah, I think Donaldson is. I think he could be a Steve Slayton for
Okay,
West
as a
Virginia
team,
because he was an
as a
unknown.
team,
He
y'all
was
had
he was
39
he
carries
was a
for
backup.
76 yards.
As a whole entire team, how many? What?
As a whole, 39 carries for 76 yards, 1.9 yards per carry.
Yeah,
They must not be taking in Keaton Slovis's stats.
Well, Keaton Slovis got sacked 5 times. They are taking
Yeah,
that
but
in.
he's
He had
still.
7 carries for
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah,
They're gonna.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
count the
they're gonna.
sacks and tackles for a loss. You count it all.
Yeah, that is true. I keep forgetting that.
Yeah. So I think our rush defense is pretty good. And Donaldson, I think he could be a Steve Slayton in the fact that nobody really knew about him. Man, our running game was great. I wish we would ran the ball more, to be honest with you.
I'm sorry, guys.
No, you're good.
I'm looking at two different screens on my phone right now.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I'm paying attention to what you guys are doing, what we guys are doing, but Tennessee fans are trash talking me, calling me obsessed.
Obsessed with what?
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, we've never lost to you. How can I be obsessed with you?
Well, so they were saying you were obsessed with them, with Tennessee?
Yeah, because I went on
okay.
I went on BBD's channel and said that, look, you're not beating us by double digits. I said that to West Virginia fans, and look what happened. You're not doing it to us in our own stadium. It's not happening.
Yeah.
And I still think we could beat Tennessee. I'm just saying. Do I think we will? No. Do I think we have a chance? Oh, absolutely.
I think it's going to be a higher scoring game than people realize because, according to you, the defense for Tennessee is terrible.
It is. Even
BB defense isn't great, so this could be like a shootout.
No. That's what I'm saying. I even said that, and BBD acknowledged that their defense is not that great.
Right.
I'm going to make a prediction, and it's going to be a bold prediction. I've got Pitt winning this game. I've got Pitt winning this game 41 to 35.
That's fair.
I think it's going to be high.
I'll take that. Hey, I'll take that.
And I really don't know that the game's going to be that close, to be honest. I think Tennessee will score 35, but I believe it's going to be like 41 to 28 with like 2 minutes to go, and Tennessee might score again. I really believe that Pitt will run away with it at one point for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'll be a close game either way. I could see either team winning that. But
playing West Virginia helped.
Defense was your analysis. That makes me lean towards Pitt, especially they have a big time game under their belts. So
Well, see, and that's what I'm saying. Playing West Virginia really helped Pat Narduzzi. He said this in his press conference. If we would have played anybody else, a cupcake team, we would have got our asses blown out the following week by Tennessee. But playing West Virginia really helped them figure out where their weaknesses are. And that's something we usually don't get to say the first game of the season because we don't play Power 5 teams the first game of the season. We never do.
Right. I got you. I will say the atmosphere was great, and I didn't see any fights. None.
No. Well, that's good. How did you like the city overall? How did you like the city coming out of the tunnel?
That was pretty cool, actually, because you're going from like a woodsy thing. It's basically, it looks like West Virginia on one side because it's hills and valleys and stuff like that, and then the other side is say, where did this city come from? So
right,
yeah, it's pretty awesome. Not gonna lie, that view coming out of the tunnel is pretty cool. Wasn't expecting that.
Now I had been to Pitt several times before, so I took the back way around. I didn't come in that way. I went the back way around.
Gotcha. Well, I left through the back way, so yeah, I understand that. But I made it a point to come through the tunnel because people were actually requesting me to do a video coming through the tunnel. So that's what I did.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that I did. It was well worth it. What about some of these
All right,
other
well,
games?
let's talk about college football now.
Yeah, what about some of these other games? South Carolina and Arkansas. I've been saying that Arkansas is going to beat South Carolina, and then the next week, South Carolina is going to upset Georgia. Okay, I know that sounds crazy, even more now that Georgia blew out Oregon, but now I'm not as confident as far as Arkansas beating South Carolina because Arkansas did not look good against Cincinnati. KJ Jefferson, he was off target so many times. Arkansas's defense kept bailing them out. I still have Arkansas beating South Carolina, but I think it could be a much closer game. I have them by 10, maybe a touchdown. You think there's a shot of South Carolina winning?
Yeah, I
No.
I do.
No, I don't.
You don't
I
think they're
South
going to
Carolina
win?
needs a quarterback. No, I think they need a quarterback. I think they're
No.
struggling.
They don't need a quarterback. They need an offensive line. Their quarterback's fine. It's
Maybe
their
an
offensive
offensive
line that's terrible. So
he's supposed to be
I
able to
will agree.
scramble and run and get away from that.
The offensive line does need to improve drastically. But I think Spencer Rattler's a good quarterback. I mean, I don't think he's like super elite like he was in year one, but he's good enough to not lose games. And from what I saw in the game against Cincinnati, y'all got to realize, yes, Cincinnati was ranked, but they lost everybody from that great team last year. I expected Arkansas to blow Cincinnati out of the water. I had them winning by 20 plus points. So I was shocked that Cincinnati was still in the game by the fourth quarter. I was like, my gosh, what is going on? And it's Arkansas's offense. If KJ Jefferson can't get back on target, it could be a long day for Arkansas, and South Carolina could most definitely pull the upset. And if South Carolina beats Arkansas, they're getting ranked.
Man,
no,
I don't know about being ranked. I don't know about all that. I mean, because that's kind of like Tennessee beating Ball State.
Well, no, not even close. South Carolina has already gotten votes in the AP Top 25.
Oh, they have?
Yeah. So they're on the.
How many votes did they get? I saw it, but I couldn't remember what the number was.
I'm not sure, but if you're on the fringe like that and you go on the road and beat a ranked Arkansas, you're going to get ranked. I mean, they will. I mean, look at Florida. They were a fringe team, and I know Utah is ranked 9 spots higher than Arkansas, but it also was at home, and the opening line was 2.5. This line is a little bit bigger. Arkansas is favored by 8. I don't think South Carolina jumps up to number 12 like Florida, but Florida went from a fringe team to the number 12 team in the nation over one win.
Yeah, I didn't agree with that at all.
That's insane.
I didn't agree with that.
If South Carolina goes on the road and beats number 16 Arkansas, they will get ranked. Not number 12, but definitely top 25. I would say right around 20.
I give South Carolina a better chance this week than I do next week.
That's fair.
I think they could beat Arkansas, but I don't see them beating Georgia. Actually, I don't see them winning either game. I really don't. I just think Spencer Rattler is running for his life, doesn't know what to do with the ball. He seems like he's back to like he was at Oklahoma the first 3 or 4 games that year, to where he just didn't know what to do. And it ended up everybody booing him, wanting him off the field. So I just feel like that he's back to that same mindset, and he's not going to make good decisions. And if he don't make good decisions against Arkansas and Georgia, he's in trouble.
I never liked him.
Yeah,
I don't think
his attitude right out the gate, I was like, wait a minute, Oklahoma recruited this guy? Like, he just didn't come off as an Oklahoma
It's
guy.
not even that. It's not even that, GBD. I never thought he was that good of a quarterback to begin with. And here's who I'm going to compare him to. And not a lot of people are going to agree with me on this. I compare him to being overrated to the same rate as Arch Manning is.
Oh. Okay.
I've watched Arch Manning's high school film. At best, he is a 4-star. At best. And that's what I think of Spencer Rattler. Now, I don't know much about him as far as his statistics go, but I have watched enough games to be like, this kid gets lucky.
That's fair. All right, so most people have Arkansas beating South Carolina, just like me. I think it's going to be closer because of what I saw from Arkansas. What about the blundering turds of Marshall going on the road to take on number 8 now, Notre Dame? Is there any chance that the blundering turds pull off the upset? Notre Dame is
There's
a
not a
20
chance
and
of
a half
that.
point favorite.
Go ahead,
20 and a
lay
half
the
point
points.
favorite.
Yeah,
Do
go ahead
we
and lay
even
the
have to
points.
waste our time on this game?
Do what now?
Do we even have to
Go ahead
waste
and
our
lay.
time on this game?
No, I'm not. I'm definitely not watching the game. I am
No, I'm
avoiding.
just saying, talking
I'm
about it,
avoiding
period.
NBC at all time. Oh no, we have to talk about it because it's Marshall. Yeah, we do have to waste our time on this game. Actually,
I don't
Well,
even
lay the
waste my
points.
time with Marshall fans on Twitter.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
they definitely think that they're same level as West Virginia, our rivals.
They're annoying. I
Even though
never
they're
thought
12-0, we're 12-0
they're
against Marshall.
annoying.
But yeah, they're a rival. I have Notre Dame.
Mhm.
I'm going to say by 17. I wasn't impressed with their offense, so I don't think they cover. But I think Notre Dame wins comfortably. Let's run by
What's the spread?
20 and a half. I say Notre Dame by
I
17.
could see that happening against Marshall.
So we
Against,
have
if it was
I play
anybody else, maybe not.
Notre Dame by how much? Let's get this over with.
I picked them to cover. That's what I bet on. I picked them to cover.
So we'll say Notre
Yeah,
Dame by 21, right?
I'm gonna say Notre Dame by 28. Easy. That would
Okay,
be my
Notre
guess.
Dame by 28. What about Appalachian State giving North Carolina a scare? But now they're going on the road to overrated and, in my opinion, overranked the Aggies of Texas A&M. Is there any possibility of a monumental upset? Listen to this, guys. Lower spread on this game, though. So in the Notre Dame Marshall game, Notre Dame is favored by 20 and a half. In the App State Texas A&M is favored by 19. That is a full 1.5 points. Can App State pull a 2007 again?
Well, they're
No.
going under to the home of the 12th man, right?
Right?
So I just don't see. I don't see App State scoring a lot of points against Texas A&M. I can see them scoring. Don't get me wrong. I see this game being like maybe a 44-21 game. So I could see them winning them by 20 easy.
Gotcha.
Texas A&M.
Okay. What about you?
Yeah, I'm gonna take Joey's pick.
Okay. Moving on. Washington State, who I thought would be better, did not look good. In fact, hold on, let me pull this up real quick. I think they beat Idaho. And Idaho is a terrible team. They beat Idaho by a touchdown. They are going on the road to number 19 Wisconsin, and Wisconsin is favored by 17 and a half. Is Washington State better than what we saw against Idaho? Because I still think they are. I think maybe they had a bad game or something. I have Washington State as a solid bowl team. Can they go on the road and upset the Badgers?
No,
If this was
I'm
Oregon
gonna.
State to Washington State, yeah. If this was Oregon
If it
State
was
to
Oregon
Washington
State,
State,
I would be taking
say, yeah.
Oregon State. I'd be taking Oregon State.
Yeah,
Flat.
But Washington State, no way. I don't. I have to say, I have to take Wisconsin here and lay those points.
Gotcha.
Isn't this the same Washington State team who lost to Montana last year?
No, that was Washington.
Oh, was it?
Yep.
Oh well, they both look dumb, so I got them confused.
Gotcha. What do you think? Cover, upset?
No cover and no upset.
So Wisconsin in a close one. They're close-ish.
Wisconsin's favored by 17?
17 and a half.
Yeah, I'd take that.
Okay. So you think Wisconsin wins by 2 touchdowns maybe?
Oh yeah, definitely. Maybe even more.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Yeah, I'm laying the points. I'll lay the points on that game.
All right. I'm really liking it. I'm going to skip Sanford and Georgia. That's going to be a blowout. I'm going to skip Akron at number 14, Michigan State. Although that could be a little closer than people realize. Number 25, the Fighting Dana Holgersons of Houston going on the road to Texas Tech, who absolutely smashed them last year. Is there any chance that Houston gets revenge on the road? Last year, it was a neutral game, and Texas Tech smashed them. Can Houston go on the road and get the revenge?
What's the line on that game?
Texas Tech is favored by 3.
And that means they're calling it a wash because they're at Texas Tech playing. So they're calling that game an even wash, and you get 3 points for being a home team.
Right.
Texas Tech. So they're telling me they're saying Vegas is saying that Vegas is saying that Texas Tech and Houston are going to, if they play on neutral field, would just be a tie and a wash.
They're saying that Houston would be the better team in the neutral because Texas Tech is only favored by 3.
Right, they would be by 3 then. I'm going to say that Texas Tech covers this spread to 3. I really believe they'll score at will like they did last year. They beat them 42-13 or something like that last year. I mean, they just absolutely hammered them. It was the only Power 5 opponent that Houston played. Yeah, it was the only Power 5 opponent that Houston played, and they just got embarrassed by one of the worst Power 5 teams. So, and this year, same thing. Texas Tech's better. They've got a better coach for sure. You know how I feel about that. So I just think Texas Tech will blow them away again.
Who does Tide Guy have?
I got Texas Tech.
Texas Tech?
Yeah, the way Houston played last week.
Yeah,
I have no faith in them.
What about
Same
Tom?
here?
Same
here. I got Texas Tech covering, and only covering. I don't think it's going to go beyond what the spread is. I think they're going to cover, and they're going to do just enough.
All right, so you think it's going to be even. Gotcha. We'll skip Kent State at Oklahoma. What about – I'm going to save that one for later, so I'm going to skip that. Central Arkansas at Ole Miss, skip that. Number 10, USC at Stanford. Last year, it was unranked Stanford going to number 14, USC, and I predicted that upset, and everybody's like, you're insane, Golden Blue Dude. You're addicted to losing money if you actually bet money on that. Turns out Stanford stomped them. This year, I think USC goes on the road and beats Stanford convincingly. What about y'all? Do y'all think Stanford goes and beats USC again? USC is favored by
I think USC will win this game. As you said, the point spread's 8. Yeah, I may not give them. I might take Stanford to cover, but I take USC to win. But I think Stanford
USC is going to score at will.
Yeah, and that's a possibility. It very well is. They've got a potent offense now under Lincoln Riley, but they don't play defense. That's the thing about Lincoln Riley teams. They don't play defense. So I just think that Stanford will score some points and keep it. That's why I would not take the 8. I wouldn't lay the 8.
Tide Guy.
I would think that USC is going to win somewhere about 42-24.
That's where I'm thinking. Talk.
Much as I cannot stand USC, I do not like USC anymore. Never did. I would honestly have to say Stanford would be lucky to even score 21.
I like it. I don't think they're going to have a good offense. I think USC's defense is much better. That was their liability last year. I think that's much better. But their offense even better than that. I think it's a blowout, and I think USC puts 40+ on them. Arizona State at number 11, Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State is only favored 11.5. I think Arizona State is going to take a significant step back, so I think this spread is a little close. I'm taking Oklahoma State to cover.
11.5.
11.5.
Oklahoma State favored by 11.5.
Yeah, I think they win by 20.
I do too. I think they'll cover that easy. I think Oklahoma State will beat them by 14 at least. So.
I don't think with that defense I seen of Oklahoma State last week, they're going to cover.
I'd have to agree with Tide Guy. I was about to say the same thing he was.
But from what I heard, they pulled the starters in the third, and that's why Central Michigan was able to put up all these points in the third and fourth. That's just what I heard through the grapevine. So I think Oklahoma State covers. Hawaii, Michigan will blow them out. So the last two games that we'll talk about before we get to the week 1 top 25. The first game is going to be number 20 Kentucky at number 12 Florida. Florida is favored by 6. Here's the thing. Kentucky has never beaten Florida at Florida. Never, ever. It's never happened. So I think it'll be in their brains. I know last year a long streak came to an end at Kentucky, but Florida has a lot of confidence right now. Kentucky's going to have that, in the back of their heads, man, we have never won here in Gainesville. The crowd's going to be a-rocking. And so I think Florida wins and covers. And here's what's going to happen. So Florida beat number 7 Utah at home, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they were catapulted from non-ranked to number 12. Now they're going to get a convincing win over number 20 Kentucky. Could we be looking at Florida being vaulted into the top 5 and put into the playoff conversation if they beat Kentucky?
I don't think so.
I wouldn't. But I'm saying from what we saw, them vaulting Florida from non-ranked to number 12, could that be a conversation that we're hearing that we'll be hearing that we're like, this is insane?
So if Florida would have lost to Utah, would they be favored over Kentucky this time? This game?
I don't think they would.
I think they would slightly because of the history, depending on how much they lost by. Depending on how much they lost by.
Right. Okay. So because of the history, they might have been favored by 3. Maybe
no,
4.
Florida should not be ranked number 7 because of one game. That's nonsense.
No.
Stop.
No, they shouldn't. They shouldn't be in the top 15.
No, that's nonsense.
I think I've been saying all off season, this is Kentucky's year. This is Kentucky's year. They are one upset away. They need to upset Georgia. But now they're 2 upsets away because they got to upset Florida. They've got to go in there and beat Florida. This is a big game for Kentucky because if they can beat Florida, they've got a shot this year. They need to get by Florida. So I'm going to call for the upset. I'm going to say Kentucky goes in there and straight up beats them, upsets them.
Nice. I like it. What about you, Tide Guy?
I got Florida with this one. Just watching the way Kentucky played last week, I was higher on Kentucky. And to answer your question about, is Florida in the playoff talk, this is the way I look at it. There should never be
I was wrong. In 2018, Kentucky did actually go on the road and beat number 25 Florida. I forgot about that.
Yeah, but this early rankings don't mean anything. Florida has a shot at the playoffs. All they got to do is win out in the SEC, and they're going to do it. So, right now, I don't care where you rank people. It really don't matter. But I don't see Florida going to compete for a playoff. But I do have them winning this weekend.
No.
So, whenever I make a mistake, I'm spinning false facts. Yes, I was wrong. Kentucky did go on the road and beat number 25 Florida in 2018. I forgot.
Yeah, that was the first time in 31 years they beat?
Yeah. That was a long streak going on whenever they did that.
Yeah.
So I think Florida wins. I think Florida covers. And I think that we will start to hear that nonsense. Florida is a possible playoff contender after two wins. That's what's going to happen. I have this sneaky feeling about that. All right. Did we get to Utah on this one?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
Didn't we?
Yeah, we talked about Utah, didn't we?
Okay. All right, last game. Number 4 Baylor at number 21 BYU. BYU is favored by 3.
Yeah, I didn't understand that one bit. No way.
Wait, hold on. Time out. BYU is favored by 3?
Yeah, and it's crazy.
Conveniently forgot.
I'm sorry.
What does that even mean? Forgetting something is never convenient. Well, now people are going out on a limb.
I don't look. I get
hold on, let me clear this
BYU.
up. No, on purpose, I meant to say that Kentucky has never gone on the road to beat Florida. I wanted to make a fool of myself. That was on purpose. Yeah, conveniently. Go ahead.
Go ahead, talk a bit. What was you saying?
What was I saying? Somebody help me out. I'm getting old.
Baylor.
About BYU being
Baylor
favored.
and
Oh, okay.
BYU.
All right. So I get BYU has been known to slug it out with Power 5 teams over the years. But to be favored by 3, I'm sorry. I got them losing by at least 2 touchdowns. At least.
yeah, they slug it out with Pac-12 teams. They don't slug it out with other teams in the Power 5.
Didn't
And when they
BYU
do,
go
they
on the road and
generally
beat Baylor last year?
Who?
Didn't
BYU?
BYU
No.
go on the
think so.
road?
No. Baylor only lost once, I believe, in the regular season.
I thought they lost twice. Hold on.
Who was that lost to? Somebody look that up. I'm on my phone. I can't
I'm
do
gonna
it.
have to check this. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Let's go to 2021. Now I'm gonna have to go week by week.
They beat BYU 38-24 last year. Baylor.
All right, so Baylor beat BYU.
Yep.
Okay, gotcha. And that was at Baylor. Okay.
How much did Baylor lose, GBD? Because you know more about them than I do.
Say it again.
How much did Baylor lose production-wise from last year?
Not much. Their starting quarterback actually transferred because he got beat out by a new guy. So their quarterback might actually be better than what it was last year.
Yeah, then.
But
yeah, I'm sorry. I don't see this.
On the offense.
Say it again, Tide Guy.
Baylor's returning only 4 guys on the offense.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
But production-wise, it's not as significant. Like the big guys for their production are still there. Like it was, yes, they were starters, but how do I explain this?
They weren't full-time
like the main
starters.
go-to guys. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So, yes, they did lose some production, but they have enough back to be a pretty good team, especially the defense. The defense is going to be good.
Well, I didn't actually know that, so
defense.
I got to change my tune a little bit. I would pick Baylor to win, honestly, either by the same score or the same amount they did last year or by 10.
Right.
Yeah.
And, yes, they are returning almost their entire offensive line, so that helps too. I'm going with the home team. I think BYU is very, very difficult to beat at home. This isn't going to hurt Baylor when it comes to the Big 12 race because this is an out-of-conference game. I just think this is one of those games where it's a hostile road environment. It's early in the year. Both teams are still making mistakes, and I think Baylor makes enough mistakes on the road to where BYU catches them. Maybe we could be talking this after the game like, man, the better team did not win that game. It happens. Sometimes the better team doesn't win. And
I know, look at West Virginia.
Exactly. Exactly. But forever and ever, it's going to count as a win. Doesn't matter.
I'm sorry, I had to do that.
But forever and ever, that's going to count as a win for Pitt. So, it doesn't really matter. I think that's how we're going to be talking about this game afterwards. Man, Baylor was the better team, but they lost, and forever it'll be known as
can they lose? I mean, can Baylor lose? Absolutely. But what's really the likelihood that they do to BYU?
On the road, I think it's higher than people realize. That's why the spread is the way it is.
Well, I don't think. I think Pitt has only played BYU maybe twice, and I think I don't think we've ever beaten BYU.
Oh, okay.
I think we have lost to BYU every time we played them.
And that's not a shame because BYU has a 1980-something national championship, so they have a fairly
84.
recent national championship, and they've been a great brand. All right,
Oh,
let's
they've
move on.
always been a great brand.
Yeah, let's move on to hold on, guys. Let me get this situated here. Let's move on to our final topic, and that is going to be the new AP Top 25. I've made a rant video on this already today. I did a live reaction because I forgot to look at the AP Top 25 yesterday, so I decided to look at it live while I was on my show. So I did a live reaction, and I'm not going to lie, I went nuts on it. But I actually like my top 25 over their top 25, and it's extremely different. Apparently, me and the AP voters think differently. So for the AP, okay, let's go side by side, and you'll choose. We'll go from 25 to number 1, okay? First, let me get the super chat. Thank you, Ishmael Love, for the $4.99 donation. Says, was anyone impressed by North Carolina beating App State? Can they win the Coastal? No, they're not winning the Coastal, and no, I was not impressed by that win. App State, honestly, probably should have won that football game. If I was that coach, I would never try a 2-point conversion ever again. They went 0 for 2 within like a minute.
700 yards. 700 yards.
App State. We're not talking Oklahoma, USC, or Alabama. We're talking about Appalachian freaking State. So, no, I don't think anybody was impressed. And North Carolina is lucky to have a win, and they might be lucky to get to a bowl. They're definitely not making the Coastal.
It's going to be the same thing like it always is. Drake May's going to carry North Carolina just like Sam Howell did.
Right. That's it. All right, so my number 25 is Florida State. I awarded them for, well, they beat scrub team Duquesne, FCS. I know they're from...
Hey. Duquesne is a city of Pittsburgh team.
Yeah, but they're not Pitt. And Pitt's half decent. Duquesne's a scrub this year. And they went on and beat LSU. Should have blown them out because of how many LSU mistakes were made. A win's a win. I rewarded them, and I have Florida State at number 25. AP poll has Houston at 25. I don't have a problem with that necessarily. They did beat UTSA by 2 points, but to me, Houston's not a top 25. Which one would y'all choose at 25?
Yeah, I'd take Houston out. Yep.
So Tide Guy would take Houston. Joey would take Florida State.
No, I said I would take Houston out. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So Florida State, Florida State. Talk, who would you take? Florida State or Houston at 25?
Oh, Florida State.
Okay. I know you're going to disagree with this one, Pitt. At number 24, I have Pitt because I didn't have them ranked. But they beat West Virginia. I rewarded them. So I put them from non-ranked to 24. AP poll has Tennessee at 24. Of course, the AP has Pitt higher. So who fits in that 24 spot better, Pitt or Tennessee?
You want me to answer that first?
Those two teams are going to play each other. How crazy is that? I did not do that on purpose. I came out with my poll before they did.
Well, if I had to
Personally,
choose, I'm going to put Pitt ranked over Tennessee right now.
Okay.
But I would rank them both. But I would have Pitt higher.
Well, we're talking about
than
the 24
Tennessee.
spot. 24
Right, I'd
spot.
have Tennessee 24.
Okay. Tide Guy?
I wouldn't have either because I think Pitt needs to be higher, and I don't think Tennessee deserves to be ranked yet.
Gotcha. That's fair.
I'm taking exactly what Tide said. I do not think Tennessee deserves to be ranked, and I actually think we should be higher than your 24. I actually think 17 is a very appropriate rank.
Gotcha. Fair enough. 23, this is where I have Florida. I have Florida from non-ranked, so I did reward them. They did beat a ranked team. I have Florida at 23. They have Wake Forest at 23. I think Wake Forest is going to be knocked out of the polls here real soon. But who would you take at 23, Florida or Wake Forest?
I would take Florida over Wake Forest. I wouldn't have Florida up to 12, that's for sure. So I agree
with
put
that.
23.
Bad guy.
I would actually put Wake Forest there. They get their quarterback this weekend, so I don't think they're going to slip much. And I would have
I thought he
Florida.
was out the entire season.
No. He's back this week.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Never
No,
mind.
he comes back this week. And I do think Florida deserves to be a little higher, not 12, maybe 19, 20, somewhere in there. That's where I would put Florida.
All right. Talk.
Well, now that I think about it, I would actually put Wake Forest at number 25 and switch Florida State to 24.
Okay. You mean Florida. No. You're right. Florida State. Fair enough.
Honestly, I would do that. I think that makes more sense because Wake Forest, I got to give them credit. They fought hard in the ACC, and they're still fighting with how much they lost because they did lose a little bit, just as much as we did. But losing Sam Hartman, though, for those games would have, or if he would have had them for the games, would have gave Wake Forest probably a double-digit win.
Gotcha. All right, number 22. This is where I dropped Notre Dame. I dropped them 6 spots. I did not have them ranked as high as everybody else, so I dropped them 6 spots. I have Notre Dame at 22. They have Ole Miss at 22, coming off a 28-10 underwhelming win over Ole Miss. Or over Troy, excuse me. 28-10 win over Troy, down 1 spot. Who would y'all go with at 22?
I would put Ole Miss, and I would have Notre Dame just a little higher.
That's fair. Joey?
I would put Ole Miss. I don't know though. I'd have to think maybe Notre Dame there because no, I'm gonna say Ole Miss. I'll say Ole Miss.
Talk.
Because I hate Notre Dame, I'm going to say Ole Miss.
I like it. All right, number 21. This is where I slid Utah down to. I dropped them 15 spots because they lost to an unranked Florida on the road because of a quarterback mistake. So I slid them down 15 spots. They have BYU at number 21. So would you – ooh, in-state rivals. Once again, did not plan this. Would y'all have Utah at 21 or BYU at 21?
BYU.
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 Honestly, if I had to choose
Joey?
between them two, mine would be NC State. I'd put State down here, but if I had to choose between those two, I would say BYU.
Fair.
Actually, that is a good point.
Yeah, I agree with that. Number 20, this is where I have Arkansas. I actually didn't have them ranked. I rewarded them for beating Cincinnati, even though they didn't look good. They have Kentucky staying at number 20 after beating Miami of Ohio 37-13. So at number 20, would you have Arkansas or Kentucky?
I would have Arkansas.
Joe?
I would have Arkansas.
Arkansas? Talk?
Because I don't know much about those two teams, to be honest, I'm going to have to pick what everybody else is picking.
Fair enough. Number 19,
I just don't know too much.
Number 19, the team that I was very impressed. I expected them to be better than what they were, and they beat Boise State better or by more than what I thought they would. At number 19, I have Oregon State going from non-ranked to number 19 because they whooped a pretty good Boise State, 34-17. And in the AP, they have number 19, Wisconsin. Would you take Oregon State at 19 or would you take Wisconsin at 19?
Well, because I'm a cheesehead, I'm going to go with Wisconsin.
I would go with Wisconsin, but that mainly because I think Oregon State should maybe be a little bit higher. I think they're better than people think.
That's fair.
I think Oregon State's a little bit better, but honestly, I think that's one of those. I could put both of them there. I could see both of them sitting there pretty easy.
Yep. Absolutely. All right, on to number 18. I have Oklahoma State. I bumped them up 4 spots. they have NC State down 5 spots. At number 18, would you have Oklahoma State or would you rather have NC State at the 18 spot?
I'd put in.
Well, no,
I'd put
before I
NC
go,
State.
NC State.
I'd put them
I
at
said a while ago
21.
that I would drop NC State. Yeah, I dropped NC State down. Oh,
So you
know,
go
a
with
while ago.
Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tide guy.
Yeah, I would put Oklahoma State, and I wouldn't have NC State ranked in the top 25 with that performance against East Carolina.
Gotcha. All right, number 17. I already know your answer on this one, Talk is Pitt. This is where Pitt is in the AP. This is where I have Kentucky. I bumped them up 1 spot from 18. Win's a win. Rewarded them by 1 spot. Would y'all take Kentucky or Pitt at number 17?
I would take Kentucky. The reason why is I would put Pitt. The 3 teams in the AP poll ahead of Pitt are Arkansas, Miami, and Michigan State. I think they had a more impressive victory, beating the team that they beat. I would move Pitt up to like 14th. They stayed at 17, which is exactly where they were, and they moved Arkansas, Miami, and Michigan State up. And I just felt like Pitt needed to be moved up.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, even though Pitt is ranked on my list, I did reward them. I didn't have them ranked, but they beat West Virginia, so I ranked them. So, yeah, I agree. I think
and
Pitt should have been bumped up.
Yeah, I still hate Pitt. Believe me, he hit Pitt, but they beat of all those the 3 teams that are ahead of them. They beat the better team in West Virginia than those 3 teams played. So I would definitely move them ahead of those 3.
Gotcha.
So,
Tide guy, Kentucky or Pitt?
I agree. I would have Kentucky here just because I'd put Pitt ahead of them. They had a better win than what Kentucky did.
Right. Fair logic. And Talk.
I honestly thought that 17 was appropriate, so I would keep them at 17. And the reason why is I only think we should move up if we beat Tennessee.
Gotcha. That's fair.
We have to, and that's going to dictate our season way more than the West Virginia game will.
Okay, I can see that. Number 16. Nobody is talking about this team. I think they're going to be really, really good because of DTR and Chip Kelly. I have UCLA. I had them preseason ranked number 19. I bumped them up 3 spots. I have them at number 16. AP has Arkansas at 16. Did you take UCLA or Arkansas at 16?
I would take Arkansas. I would take Arkansas. I wouldn't have UCLA in there.
I wouldn't even. Same here.
You're listening to the AP voters. I understand.
It's same here. I would agree with Joey.
I realize that UCLA went 8-4 last year, right? Like, they're not coming out of nowhere. And
DTR, I know.
And DTR is back, and they have a much favorable schedule this year. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I'm just glad I now have somebody else to trash talk attendance about.
Gotcha. Tide guy, did you get in on this, Tide guy?
No, the problem I have with UCLA is they only have 2 returning starters on defense, and
but their defense
Chip
wasn't
Kelly
great
does
anyway.
not recruit.
Yeah. Their defense could actually be better this year because their defense wasn't good. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but it wasn't very good last year. So I think I call that as a wash, and I think their offense is going to be better.
Yeah, I wouldn't have UCLA ranked at this point.
That's fair. Number 15, I dropped NC State 4 spots to 15. They have the Canes at number 15. I know Joey disagrees.
That's a joke. I'm sorry, Joey. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it is a joke. I mean, like I say, I don't think Miami should be here at this point, but NC State should have been dropped way down. I don't think NC State belongs there, so I'd have to go with Miami here if I had to choose one.
Okay. Tide?
I would take Miami. Hey, Chris, I got to run. It was great being on your show, but I got a commitment to go to. So you have a great night. Joey, I hope you and your wife are feeling better.
Thank you. I
I'll
think
see you
I'm feeling a
guys
little bit better than
tomorrow.
she is right now, but yeah.
Have a good one, Tide Guy. SDSU, San Diego State University, Aztecs 21. Thank you for the $9.99 donation. Wrestling isn't real, but this tip is I'll send in an SDSU, San Diego State University helmet if the Big 12 offers San Diego State. Okay. Sounds it just might. Wilner seems to be hardcore on the pack offering San Diego State. We'll see. Yeah, if the Big 12 offers San Diego State, I think they'll take the Big 12. You're going to make more money, but we'll see. I'm hoping they take the Big 12. I want that mini helmet for sure.
I
they're
actually
going
would
west.
love to move in. Go
Yeah,
ahead, Joey.
I think that would be a big pickup for the Big 12 actually. Number 14 is where I have Wisconsin. They have Michigan State. I honestly think Michigan State has no business being ranked. Their defense was terrible last year. It's going to be terrible again. They lost Kenneth Walker, which was their best aspect of offense last year. I think Michigan State fans are in for a letdown year because of all that. But would you take Wisconsin or Michigan State at 14?
So, like I say, this is where I put Pitt. So I moved Michigan State, Miami, and Arkansas down 3, 14 to 15, 16, and 17. And I put Pitt right in there at 14. That's what I would do there.
Right, but between Michigan State and Wisconsin.
Yeah, I know. You want you want to know that.
Yeah,
so
it has to be yours.
I would throw Michigan State in there.
All right. Talk.
Who are they playing this week?
Who? Wisconsin?
No, Michigan State.
Hold on. I know Wisconsin's playing Washington State. I think they're playing like Akron or something. Hold on. Yeah, Michigan State's playing Akron.
Then I'm putting Wisconsin there. Yeah.
Nice. All right, so at number 13, this is where I have Texas A&M. I don't have Texas A&M up near the top 5. I have them at 13. This is where they have Utah. I think Utah should have dropped further than 13, but would you guys take Texas A&M or Utah at 13?
Neither.
Utah's a good team. That they should not have. They should have been dropped a little bit further. And
Right.
I'm with you, Talkers Pit. I'd say neither on either one of them too. But if I had to choose, I'd say Texas A&M. I'd put Texas A&M there.
Okay, talk.
Well, Pitt has a winning record, 3-0 against Texas A&M all time. But that means nothing. Honestly, GBD, I couldn't choose between either or because this is just one of those ones where I think this is too high, way too high.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why
I'm sorry. I can't. This is going to be one of those things I have to
Texas
pass.
A&M at 6. I have them at 13, so at least I'm not that bad.
Okay, Texas
Right.
A&M at 6. Texas A&M at 6 is as bad as Clemson still being at 5.
Okay. I got you. Number 12, this is where I have Tennessee. They have Florida. Now, hear me out, Pitt.
Yeah.
Pitt. So I have Tennessee at 12. So if Tennessee were really ranked 12 and Pitt beats Tennessee, that's great. But if they lose, it wouldn't be as bad. So keep that in mind. And Florida from non-ranked to 12. I know this is a tough one, guys. But who would you take at 12? Tennessee or Florida?
Well,
Tennessee.
It would not be Florida. I'll tell you that because one win don't jump you into top 25 all the way up to number 12. Especially a win at your house in the swamp.
I started Tennessee ranked.
Right. So, I could understand Florida being up there and maybe getting ranked 19th or 18th or something like that. Maybe. Can't see them going up to 12th. So I have to say Tennessee.
Fair. All right.
Same here.
We're almost to the top 10, but number 11. I actually dropped this team, and I might drop it more because I was not impressed with their offense. I have Ole Miss. I had high expectations for them, so I had them in my top 10 preseason. They have Oklahoma State. This one's another tough one. Ole Miss.
Ooh.
Well, we've already placed
Oklahoma
Oklahoma State.
State.
We've already placed Oklahoma State.
But
we already
I understand this is
Oklahoma,
not about
so-
placing. This is about choosing. Would you rather have this
I
team or
know.
this team?
Yeah, I know. I'm going to have to say Oklahoma State.
Fair.
Same here. I have Ole Miss. I have what I have written down.
I openly admit I probably should have dropped Ole Miss further. I do admit that.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. I have Ole Miss at 22.
Okay, that's fair. Number 10. Oh, this one's going to be a shot out of the blue. I have Penn State. Okay.
Boo!
Preseason, I had them at number 20. Okay. I thought they should have been ranked out of the gate. They go on the road into a hostile environment. Purdue went 8-4 in the regular season last year. Pretty good team. Tough road win. I rewarded it a lot. And I think this means Penn State has a 10-win season. I hinged that 10-win season on that road win. They came through. I think they're a 10-win team. Ergo, I have them at number 10. AP has USC at number 10.
I think there's too much
Try to keep your
laid on the
rivalry
line.
hatred out of it.
Well, I think there's just too much being laid on the line at USC right now with the new coaching staff and a bunch of new players trying to change the culture, everything. I know they play in a weaker conference of Pac-12 and stuff, but still, I think I would have to take USC here over Penn State. Even though I agree with you, I think Penn State could have a 10-win season. I just don't believe I could.
Let's say 7 or 8 weeks from now, we need to revisit this recording.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't even think Penn State's going to win 10 games. I don't. If they do win,
I think they're going to be on a hot streak, and that's why we'll revisit it.
Well, see, if they do win 10 games, this is exactly how I have West Virginia playing out. I don't know if you saw my prediction video for West Virginia. I said if West Virginia does win 10 games, it's going to be because of a bowl game. And I feel the same way about Penn State.
It's fair. That's fair. Number 9, this is where I actually have the Trojans. They have Baylor. Who would you take at number 9, USC or Baylor?
Baylor.
Yeah.
we didn't even have to take long to say that one.
I looked at USC's schedule, and I really think that they're guaranteed 10 wins. I really do.
Oh, yeah, I do too. But I mean, I don't know. I wasn't too impressed with Jordan Addison's play. I mean, 54 yards of receiving. That's it.
Well, I also think they didn't open up the entire playbook. But
yeah, that is true.
See.
Yeah, true.
We will see. All right, number 8 is where I have Oklahoma. This is where they have Notre Dame.
Both of them are overrated.
I'm going to say the same thing as Joey.
Are.
I'm not even going to touch this one.
What? No, you had to
They're
pick
both
one.
overrated. If I had to pick one, Notre Dame. If I had to pick one, Notre Dame.
Okay.
Who's the other choice?
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
Oh, I'm going to pick them just because I don't like Notre Dame.
That's fair. Number 7, this is where I have Clemson. I actually dropped them 2 spots, okay? This is where they have Oklahoma.
No, they have Texas A&M at 6.
No, this is 7. Number 7.
Oh, I thought that was on 6. I'm sorry.
No, number
I
7.
thought it was on 6 too.
No, we're on 7. Clemson or Oklahoma.
So you have Clemson.
Yes.
Well, I take
actually
Clemson
dropped
over
them.
Oklahoma any day.
Okay.
I would take Clemson over Oklahoma.
Talk.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. I just don't. I don't know if Oklahoma. I'm not saying they're not going to be good, but I mean, how good are they going to be though?
That's fair.
And for the record, Joey don't hate Oklahoma. Joey actually likes Oklahoma a lot. Been one of my favorite teams ever since before we ever played the Big 12. I just think that they're overrated this year. Just this year. Believe me, next year you'll be back. But this year,
I don't care about them. So we've never played Oklahoma. So
okay.
Wait a minute. No, that's a lie. No, that's Oklahoma State we played. Never mind.
All right. Number 6. This is where I have Michigan. They have Texas A&M.
Well, only because I think Michigan should be higher. I would just stay with Texas A&M. I don't like Texas A&M at all, but I
Texas
just
A&M
think
at
that
6.
Michigan should be higher.
I think you're using the wrong logic there, Joey. This isn't like,
Well, you're
if I
making me
pick
choose between.
I think what you're thinking is if I pick this spot, then I'm saying they shouldn't be higher or shouldn't be lower. No, it's just saying at number 6, who fits better, Michigan or Texas A&M? That's the question. Who fits better in your mind?
And Michigan
Neither.
versus Texas A&M should be in the top 10.
I agree. I mean, I don't have anything against Michigan. We haven't played them since 1957 when they destroyed us 68-0. Well, actually, that's a lie. I can't stand Michigan because of that. I'd still have to say Michigan. I don't even think, honestly, you could switch a bunch of the teams between 20 and 25 around and it would make sense.
Gotcha. What about you, Joey? Who makes more sense at 6,
Well,
Michigan or Texas A&M?
Michigan does to me.
Okay,
it does.
there you go. Don't overthink it. Number 5. I'm going to get hammered for this one. I already know what your answer is going to be, but I still got to go. Number 5. I actually have Miami. I'm super high on Miami. I think they win the Coastal. I think they have 2 losses at Notre Dame. No, is it Notre Dame? No, at Texas A&M because it's a hostile road environment, and at Clemson. So I think they're a 10-win team. They have Clemson at number 5, down 1 spot.
I agree with you about Miami, that they're going to be a hot team this year and could win the Coastal. I agree. But if I had to pick for right now, I would have to say Clemson.
All right. That's good logic right there. Talk.
I would still have to say Clemson as well, even though I think Clemson should be dropped a couple of spots. I know they beat Georgia Tech, but, I mean, we can't sit there and act like Georgia Tech wasn't able to move the ball in Clemson's defense the whole game because they were. They just committed so many. I counted 23 penalties for 123 yards.
Yep. I got you. Now we're in the top 4. Top 4, guys. Top 4. Number 4, this is where I have Baylor. I think they are the team to beat in the Big 12. The AP has Baylor at number 9. I have them at number 4. The AP has Michigan at number 4. So at the number 4 spot, would you take Baylor or would you take Michigan?
Well,
I'd be okay with both.
If you look at yeah, I would too. But I think if you're looking at the Michigan got to the playoffs last year, but you're going to have Ohio State in the top 4. You're going to have Michigan in the top 4. So that's where I would have to say Baylor. I'd rather see Baylor here myself.
Okay.
Same here. I think if Baylor were to play Michigan this year, I think Baylor would win.
I agree with that. I really do. Number 3 this is the only slot that is exactly the same. I have Ohio State at number 3. They have Ohio State at number 3. Both me and the AP did drop them 1 spot. Are y'all okay with Ohio State being at number 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
All right. So the last 2 spots are different. Okay. So
and I agree with you.
Would you would you take Georgia at
I'll tell you
number
right
1?
now.
Hold on, Joey. Hold on.
Are you behind, Joey? I think Joey's behind by at least 30 seconds.
Not 30
No,
seconds.
I'm okay.
So
Okay.
I have, and hear out the entire argument before you pick, okay? I have Georgia at 1, Alabama at 2. They have Alabama at 1 and Georgia at 2. The reason I have Georgia over Alabama is I think they looked like the number 1 team in the nation against the number 11 team. They ran them off the field 49-3. That was the largest victory over a ranked opponent ever in the history of Georgia. Now, Alabama did whoop Utah State 55-0, and Utah State is the defending Mountain West champs. But I think Oregon would mop the field with Utah State, to be honest with you. So I think Georgia's performance was more indicative of the number 1 ranked team than Alabama's. But having said that, would y'all take Georgia at 1 and Alabama at 2? Or would you take Alabama at 1 and Georgia number 2?
After watching that Georgia and Oregon game, I don't have high hopes and expectations for Oregon this year at all. I think they're going to be lucky to win 7 games. That's just how I feel. If they don't get their offense straightened out, they're going to be lucky to win 7 games. That being said, anytime a team beats a team that's a powerful team like Oregon is a powerful team, they're a very good team. Anytime you beat them 49-3, you have you've just elevated yourself, and right. they're proven now. They're proven to have beaten a team that had everything riding on the line and had a lot going for them in that game. So I would have to say that you're right. Georgia's number 1 team in the nation, and Alabama's number 2. And there'd be nothing that could change my mind about that. You're exactly right with that ranking.
Talk.
I have to go with GBD's take. I think Georgia is better than Bama.
Now, I'm not saying that.
Well, I'm not. That's not what I meant. My bad. I think I'm going with your pick that I think Georgia should be ranked number 1. That's what I meant. Going
by Saturday, right?
I still think Georgia is better than Bama. How much? Okay. Slightly. I think, honestly, I still have Georgia going back to the national championship game playing Ohio State. That's who I have in the national title game.
Okay, that's fair. Preseason, I picked Alabama to go undefeated, run the field, win the national championship. I am sticking with that. Well, then why do you have them at number 2? I'm going by what I saw on Saturday. And yes, Alabama looked great, but Georgia just looked a little bit better based on the opponent. I know it was played in Atlanta, but it wasn't a true home game. And yes, there is a big difference between a neutral site and a true home. The majority was still by far Georgia fans, but Oregon was able to get more fans in there than they would have a true home game for Georgia. So the venue was more impressive. The opponent was more impressive. And just for this week, Georgia was a little bit more impressive to me. And that I'm not talking trash to Alabama. I'm not looking down. I'm not saying you're bad. I'm not even necessarily saying that Georgia is better. I'm saying I'm rewarding Georgia because they looked like the best team in the nation on Saturday. So we went almost 2 hours, guys. Almost 2 hours. We went almost 2 hours. This was a long one. But it's time to go. I'm getting a little tired. So what I'm going to do is the usual last word. We'll start with Talkers Pit. What's your last word, buddy?
Thank you guys for having me on. It's actually the first time I've done a show this in depth where we weren't trash talking each other. Actually, it is the first time. Wow, the first time for everything. But I'll be doing a couple of videos this week. I'm trying to get BVD to do a show with me on the Pitt and Tennessee game, but I highly doubt it he's going to, considering he already released a video. So I'm going to be doing a preview and prediction video for the Pitt and Tennessee game. So if you guys want to check that out, go ahead at Talkers Pit. You can even find me on Instagram at Talkers Pit, but I'm hardly ever on there, so I doubt it I'll ever respond to you. On Twitter at Talkers Pit. Unless I get suspended again.
There you go. Good job, buddy. You're welcome anytime, man. All right.
All right. Have a good night, guys.
All right, you too, buddy.
Have a good night, man. We'll see you later.
Joey, what is your last word of the night?
My last word would be this. So right now I'm with you. Georgia's number 1, Alabama's number 2. But if Alabama can go into Austin and lay a 49-3 score, or 49-10 score, or something like that on Texas, I'm
Exactly.
reversing that and putting Alabama back at number 1.
Exactly. That's what people need to understand. This is reversible. Like if Alabama looks
Right.
like the better team this week, I'm going to put them back at number 1. This is strictly after week 1 rankings.
All right. Well, I really don't have a last word for tonight. Still got COVID and trying
Your
to
last
get
word
over
is
it.
COVID.
And our last word is kiss my butt, COVID.
Yeah.
All right, man. We'll see you later.
All right,
Oh, you
bud.
might
Good
want
job.
to knock me out. You might want to knock me out. I might knock you off if I knock myself out.
All right, no problem. Good job. Yeah, I had fun tonight. Hopefully you had fun tonight. 2 things. If you were entertained and you forgot about real life just for a little bit, I've done my job. Appreciate everybody stopping by, everybody that commented, everybody that hit the like. Make sure if you haven't hit the like button on the way out, please do so, because even though we're not live anymore, those likes still help hit the YouTube algorithm. So please hit the like button on the way out. Everybody that super chatted, greatly appreciate that. That's that's 100% supporting the show financially. That's what keeps us going. I do this full time. This is my job. So your donations definitely help keep the lights on. So I appreciate it, guys. Hope y'all had fun. I had fun. We'll have another live show tomorrow. I just don't know what time because of life. I fit them in wherever I can. So the best thing to do is have the notifications ready. That way you know when I go live. And if you're not subscribed and you're a college football fan, what are you waiting on? This is what we do. We talk college football every single day. So make sure to hit that subscribe button as well. That's all for tonight, folks. We'll see you tomorrow. Y'all have a good night. And it is hump day, so have a good hump day night.